then. Hello all you hardcore boxing fans out there, how are you doing? It's Big Porky here, and I'm just on my way up to Dennis's office at Attercliffe. Most people say, yeah, you're only going up there so you can chat Michelle up because Dennis is on holiday. No, I'm not like that. Michelle's my pal. I'm only doing what Chris Smedley and Clinton and them used to do, going up to see Michelle for a cuppa. I mean, why is it people seem to think that if you're talking to a nice girl that you're chatting them up? Just going up to say hello, Anna, and shoot the breeze, so to speak. But so I'm going right way, yeah. So other than that, I'm all right. I'm plodding on. So, but yeah. So it's all good fun, isn't it? It's all positive stuff, isn't it? Even though I've had a late start today. Bit of Robbie Williams on radio. I've just been told that Martin Bacoli's a free agent, but is he breaking down him? Have you brought down, love? Looks like she's brought down. Breaking down with kids in car, not good, is it? Oh, Riku, what do you hear? What do you say?
Hey, how are you, Ross? You alright?
How are you doing, Riku, lad?
I'm good, I'm good. Where are you off to?
I'm
You're
just
driving, you said?
Yeah, I'm just loads of birds out today in Rotherham. I'm just going through Rotherham. I'm on my way over to Attercliffe into Sheffield to I've got a couple of some paperwork to sort out over here with Michelle, and just building towards July 5th show now, aren't we? Obviously there's an announcement next week for Tuesday.
Yeah, big news. Yeah,
big news. There's a couple of signings. There's one definite signing, and there's one that's close, and they're both one's definitely what I've done, and the other one is another one of mine as well, but it's not as clear cut as I thought it was, so I might have jumped the gun actually putting that out on Twitter, but the other one's in the bag. And obviously you've just mentioned to me about Martin Bacoli, but it's a no-go for us. That it's who's going to pay for him. I'm not going to say how much they want per fight, because it's their business, and Billy Nelson's a good mate of Dennis's, but from what we've heard, he's on good money, and I don't know how that would be able to be managed on out shows we do, because he's going to be an away fighter, isn't he, you see? So if he fought in Sheffield,
he doesn't have a ticket. Yeah, he doesn't have a ticket.
It's for somebody to invest in that, somebody like BT Sport or Matchroom. He doesn't sell a ticket, and we're not big enough to be taking people on that, and we have to. Yeah, it has to make sense.
You have to build from area level, ticket sellers up to world level.
It has to make sense, but other than that, I'm alright, mate. I'm plodding on, I'm enjoying it a bit better. I've got a bit more of a say in it, because obviously, like, we have had, we've fell out 4 times, haven't we, in 4 years, me and Dennison.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't just normal fallout, sure, they were like, we've had a scrap, haven't we, in Bulgaria? We had a little bit of a scrap as well, I think we have had a fallout, and this is what boxing does to you. It can get you at it, it can get people at it, friends and families and all sorts, because that's what happens. It's egos involved and things like that, and me and him shouldn't really fall out, me and Dennis, because we've never had a problem with money and anything like that. We're best mates, and there's never been a problem with money, but there has to come a time where you can't do things for note, because it's time consuming, isn't it? For me to go on BoxRec at night to find a fighter for Joe Blogs or whatever, it's
no, it takes time. It takes hours.
Hours, and you're not in, and I've got 2 children, 6-year-old, and I could be, it's time I could be spending with them, or I could be doing other things and getting myself a few quid, making up for the time that I waste doing this, or the time that I waste with my channel. So it's time consuming, but we've had a few meetings and we're pulling it right direction now, I suppose. He's got a better team around him now, Dennis. To be honest, he's got a better team around him. And I'm not saying that the people that had around him before weren't a good team, because I've always, but he's got a better team around him now, and things are a bit different. And maybe I should have spoke up in early days, because at the beginning I was just happy to be there, wasn't I?
Yeah,
if you remember, I was happy to be there, wasn't I?
But you have to earn someone's trust to speak up on these things, right? Like,
yeah, well, I don't know. Fly off handle, don't I now?
But it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah. I used to tiptoe in his office dinner before. Now I just kick him out of the chair and sit in his chair. But whereas at the beginning I was like, yes sir, no sir, wasn't I? Now I'm like, fuck off, Dennis. He's fucking is a journeyman. Fucking journeyman, he's shot to bits. Fuck off. We can't put him in, he doesn't sell tickets. Put it in pot. Start talking like him, don't you, after 4 years? But now we're getting on a lot better now, and obviously the next date's July 5th. Could be 12, might be 12, we might be moving it to 12. Could be.
Is it July or June?
It's July the 5th, but it could quite easily be July the 12th. So we're looking at July 5th, Ponsford. Tommy Frank's going to be on the card, and there's somebody else who I'm not going to say on here who we're going to sign next Tuesday. That's in the bag. He'll be headlining more than likely. This kid, and that's good, isn't it? Or it might be a joint headline. I don't know how we're going to work it. That's not my decision. I'm on it, T-boy, aren't I? But it's all exciting stuff, and I'm just glad to be a part of it, actually. And it's a shame that there's a few people who Dennis has got as pals and they're not speaking at the moment, and I'm not going to say who they are, but I just wish he just got on with everybody, because there's a lot of people that Den don't speak to who I like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing, but that's boxing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
You and Den are both men that you're not going to be tolerating stuff you don't agree on, whereas a lot of people in boxing will, which makes it, I guess, harder in some regards for both of you.
Yeah. I'm just going by where Chisora's stopping. Derek Chisora's stopping there. Yeah. He's I've heard he's training like a Trojan, Chisora. I heard a couple of people have told me, so that's good, isn't it? So
yeah, but it works. I mean, look, I was speaking to Don Charles this weekend about various things, but sometimes with fighters, you go to a new environment, you train great for the first fight, but then can you maintain that level of training and consistency for the next 4 or 5 camps when everything's new and you're doing new drills and you've got a new environment and team around you? That's good. Look at Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, he's left Sheffield and apparently he was training really hard, but then in his first fight for when he was with Dom Ingle, but then after a while it gets a bit stale.
I'm not a big Dominic Ingle fan, as you know. I'm personally, he's got a good physique on him. He keeps his head in good condition. Good luck to him, but I'm not a Dominic Ingle fan. I like to look at how these fighters coming through ranks. Now, I think Dominic Ingles were more or less on his dad's coattails, and kids were joining gym because of who his dad were, and they ended up with Dominic. And I think he's sort of like got where he's got via default. I call it through default. I don't think he's never boxed. That doesn't mean to say that you can't be a trainer, but he's got there by default. And a lot of them kids that Dominic's got, in my opinion, should have gone to people like Chris Smedley, Dave Caldwell. I'm not a Caldwell fan, but nobody can say that he's a bad trainer. He's a good trainer. He's come through ranks. He's earned the right to be where he is now, and it's only because he's a kiss ass that he's where he is now. But he has earned the right because he's built up from all young kids. I remember when he had Daniel Thorpe, and everybody said he's never going to be a good trainer, and he's just hung in there, and he's done what he's had to do. And I think that other people should get the chances. Chris Smedley, he's done great. He's not had his chances. Glenn Rhodes,
fans of Chris, but I think it just doesn't work that way.
Chris Smedley and Glenn Rhodes, they're not kiss asses, are they, mate? Caldwell's a kiss ass. Caldwell, if Eddie Hearn dumps him, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? He's one of them that burgles other fighters. He's been hanging around Chisora for 2 years, chipping away. How are you doing, Derek? All right. Chipping away and chipping away. We know what's been going on. Bellew's put a word in for him. The rest is history. They've got into Chisora's head. What can he teach him that Don Charles can't teach him? All he's done is gone away from London and moved up here. He ain't even got the knackers to tell Don Charles to his face. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You win together, you fucking lose together.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't play the
No, you can't, mate. So as far as I'm concerned, Derek Chisora's out of order. And he's a shot fighter. David Hayes been in his ear and said, look, if we're going to move forward here, we need to keep Eddie Hearn sweet. Now, the people that have got Eddie Hearn's ear hole are Caldwell, Sims McCracken and Darren Barker. You get there, you get in with them people, you get to Eddie Hearn. That's how it works. That's why Dave Allen's with Barker. Because he knows he's got to impress. He's used all his life up. Eddie's blanked him for months, so he's had to get with Barker. In fact, it was me that told him to go with him. I said to Dave, listen, you need to get snirkled in with Tony Sims or Barker. And he listened to me, didn't he? That's good, isn't it? So good luck to Dave, because he knows he's on his last chance, doesn't he now?
Yeah, I mean,
you've got to train. It's no one just. How do I see it going? I see Dave Allen knocking him out.
Same, because I mean, it was basically he lost to Sokolovsky, didn't he?
Yeah, he got. Yeah, he's had it. He's gone at game. He had too long out at game. He's 40-year-old. He's a tattooed penis doorman. Dave Allen knocks him out, mate. If he don't knock him out, and it's the best camp ever, well, where's he going to go, Dave, if he can't stop a 40-year-old who's just lost to Sokolowski? Where's Dave going? Shape of his life he's in. Where's he going if he can't stop him? Where's he going?
Nowhere.
He needs to stop with Darren Barker and stay down London and kiss some more ass, doesn't he? I mean, I'm no holds barred today with boxing because I'm pissed off with Crawler, so I'm not suffering fools gladly today. I'm just telling it how it is. There's kiss asses, there's talkers, and there's cheese and onion walkers. Dave Allen has used all his life up and he's a kiss ass. He's me mate, but he's ended up a kiss ass. He played on all heartstrings. He writes a script for every fight. Every fight he writes a script, doesn't he? Does something daft.
Yeah.
He even had his leg round waist of brown. I don't want to fucking see that. I want to see him putting his head on him and stop acting like the goat. Stop being the village idiot and take it serious. I told him, I said, look, you do realise if you go down there and train with them at London, Eddie Hearn will get to know everything you're doing. If you miss a gym session, he'll get to know. So if you go down there, you're going to have to stick at it. Because you didn't stick it with Dominic Ingle, you didn't stick it with Adam Booth, you didn't stick it with Peter Fury. You've been to Mick Marsden 3 times and you've dumped him, when he's really took him back every time. He's like another Don Charles. If he don't work down there, he'll go back to Mick. But David's got to stick at it. He's a talent and there's something there and it needs to be tapped into. But he's got to it's up to him, he's got to bring it out himself. I care for him and I want him to do well. But he needs to concentrate on being a boxer and not on being a fucking funny man. Because it's wearing a bit thin, this novelty act now.
Yeah.
Go on, mate, sorry.
I think the other thing with him is that, you know, he needs to make sure that he's been managed well, that they aren't going to chuck him in to be knocked out by someone.
Well, he's his own manager now, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, but what I mean by that is that if he beats Brown, they're not going to just chuck him into the...
Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know, but impression I got, I thought Dave Allen were training fighters, so Dave Allen, who wouldn't train for fights, he was training amateurs. How does that work? What were going on there? I don't get it. I don't know what he was doing. Weren't he training young kids now or something?
Yeah, what's it called?
Danny Morrell, what's all that about?
Yeah.
You need to train your fucking self first.
Yeah, exactly.
How can he tell people to fucking train when he won't train? I mean, all this about him headlining, I'm glad he's headlining, but I've just heard off somebody in the know now, a matchmaker, that they haven't made a decision on it yet, so I don't know what all that's about. But is that where we've come to now? Dave Allen is training for a fight, so he needs to headline. What's all that about? Chisora's just been in a pay-per-view, hasn't he?
Well, he was, yeah. The previous fight, he got knocked out. He got knocked out by White in December.
So on a pay-per-view, but now he's fighting a guy that Dave were going to fight, but he's on undercard. I don't get it. Brown's just been knocked out, hasn't he? And he just lost against Sakalowski. I mean, if it's a stinker, Sky are going to get hammered, aren't they? If it's a stinker.
I think, you know what they've done? They've done it in a good way where they've set the bar so low that having Allen as a headline and having Chisora on the undercard is probably just enough to for people to be thinking, actually it's not that bad of a card. And there'll be a few knockouts on the card and people will think, actually considering all the other stuff, like they set the bar so low. So what happened to the world title on the Saturday Fight Night thing?
Listen, they've not done that with 2 years ago. You know what? You know where they're making the mistake now, Matchroom? The lobbying. I know this because we've heard back, right? The lobbying with people, right, who are giving these fighters high rankings, and then these high-ranking fighters are getting offered fights, and then they're knocking them back and they're saying we're going to rein him in a bit, like Conor Benn and Josh Kelly. They're getting high rankings, and then they're thinking, oh my God. Well, look where we are here, we're going to have to fight so-and-so and so-and-so. The matchmakers are getting offers, well, we want to fight you from guys ranked like 10 and 12, and they're knocking it back, so they're saying, why are you knocking it back? We can do this as an eliminator. Josh Kelly could have fought Even Esian, and it could have been an eliminator. If he won it, then he could have gone to a final eliminator for a world title, or a regular belt. They don't fucking want it, mate, they're reining him in. Eddie Hearn's got that much power. He's been trying to run before he can walk with his fighters, and they're having to rein him in, like Conor Benn's gone missing. He's just had 2 life and deaths with Pierno, the French kid. But yet he's world ranked number fucking what? Top 5, is he? 6. He moved up to 6 from 10, did he, or something, without fighting? I don't get it, mate, I don't get it. They need to fucking rein him in. They need to go get a British title. Conor Benn and Josh Kelly. Forget these WBA fucking trinket fucking belts. I'll give you the fucking belt, a snake belt. They need to rein it in and go through the levels. Central area, English, British, Commonwealth, European and world title. Go through the fucking levels. Do you like that little blast there? Porky fucking raging today, I'm raging. I am raging, mate. Go on, what?
Okay, I'll give you another one. I'll give you another topic to chat about, which is where next for Anthony Joshua?
Miller, and then Miller's going to fight at UK on a pay-per-view against probably Dillian White. That's what's going to happen. Because Dillian White, from what I've seen, doesn't want to fight Wilder or Joshua, does he? He's going to do everything bar fight him. If he can pick up pay-per-views, that's what he'll do until he gets beat, and then he'll think at back of his head, the Joshua fight's always there, because Eddie can bring you back. For example, I mentioned it earlier, Kell Brook, right? Kell Brook against Khan. Eddie said if you don't fight him next to Amir Khan, it's never going to happen. So Amir said, fair enough, then I'll go fight Crawford. No matter what, Eddie were always going to get a pay-per-view out Khan.
Yeah.
Even though it's on BT Sport, he'll still get a cut out of that, right? Now, I can assure you, sure as eggs are eggs, Kell Brook and Khan are going to fight this year. They're going to fight this year, mate. They're going to fight, or it's going to be next spring. They will fight, Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Kell's just treading water till that fight's happening. They're not going to risk him. I mean, I've heard back right off a few people that Kell Brook could have fought for a world title at 154.
Well, he probably could have done that.
Yeah, and they're waiting for a Khan fight because it's more money. And if Kell loses at 154, where's he going to go then? Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing.
If Amir Khan loses to Crawford, it's Crawford, isn't it? He's fucking top fucking £5 for pound. So it don't matter if you lose against him, because he's going to be an all-time great. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things is they have to get another pay-per-view event done, because we are already in April. I don't think there's been a single pay-per-view event this year. So how is Sky going to be happy with them? Yeah, how is Sky going to be happy?
They haven't got the team, have they? They haven't got the. They've not got the squad, have they? They've not got the squad.
Yeah, but they need to either stop, getting fights like Canelo fights and putting them on pay-per-view or something, because Sky aren't going to be making their money back, are they?
No, they're not, mate. They're not. Like, well, that's just how it's sadly going at the moment, isn't it? But I've just left the office. I'm just pull up at Dennis's. But no, I'll have a chat with you, mate, for another 5-10 minutes if you want. I think you're right there, Rico. I think you're right there, mate. I think you're right. I just think. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to do something. It's either start putting Kell Brook into a fight against Jared Hurd and making it pay-per-view, or then trying to make matchups which aren't pay-per-views. Or then, alternatively, what they want to do is Sky to sack them and then wait for DAZN to come to the UK.
Well, listen, I wasn't going to mention this, right? I was going to do a full video on this, but I'm going to mention it now. Let me just get this out of the car. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I've got Michelle an Easter egg. What do you reckon? People are going to think I'm trying to get into it, aren't they?
It probably will.
And I've got John Daly. John Daly, if you're watching, I've got your grey top, which I picked up in this club with Dennis a couple of weeks ago. And,
that's the one where you woke up with that?
Yeah, I woke up in it, middle of nowhere, and it all smashed to bits. And I've got. I don't know why I took it. I took it to get to my car. I don't know how I got on, but I've had that washed, so I'll bring that here. I've got your top here, John, and then I've got Michelle and egg. Creep, aren't I? But yeah. What we're gonna say? Oh yeah, I've just checked. I had it wrote down on my notes. This is an exclusive. I've heard that is there 18 months left on Sky's deal or something.
Yeah, 18 months about.
Yeah. Well,
2020.
Well, I've heard today. If somebody rung me, I can't see who a matchmaker, and he said, "Who heard of this other matchmaker? Who heard of this other man? You know this man." Well, anyway, a Matchroom. This is an exclusive. Wanted right a few months ago. They wanted to negotiate another contract, and they're not. That Sky didn't. They're not doing it. It looks like they're going to leave it and see how things happen. So I think that Eddie Hearn is looking now to get DAZN over to UK. Now this is an exclusive, so I can only go on what people tell me. It's like somebody sent me that Fury clip, didn't they, of him getting knocked down, and they said, "Oh yeah, it's spot on, min pal were there and all that." So I said, "All right, well I don't think it were him, were it?" And I've heard back off Tyson. Somebody close to Tyson said to me, "Russ, it wasn't him." So fair enough, but I can only go on what I've heard. But this guy actually, who I spoke to today, I really trust him. He said that it looks like DAZN might be coming to UK. In 2021. So if that happens, does that mean it's going to be cheap boxing for all fans? Because I don't know. Is Mr. Bean going to be talking with DAZN? Because I've heard he's palled that John Skipper up. Is he looking to go with DAZN and get some money? I mean, this is what we're hearing up here in Sheffield.
You heard the rumour. I think Terry said it on the pub that Mr. Bean applied to be head of boxing at DAZN.
Mr. Bean, did he? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he applied. Apparently,
Bean. Bean gets everywhere, doesn't he, Bean?
I think he wanted the role to run the boxing for DAZN in the UK.
Bean gets everywhere, doesn't he? Beanie. Bean, yeah, Bean, exactly. Bean. He gets everywhere. But
I think the other thing is I've listened to some interview where on BBC where the head of DAZN was talking, not John Skipper, someone else, and they said they're not ready to come to the UK yet, but what they're looking for is they want one of the big sports TV contracts to come up, so like the Formula One or football or something, the Champions League, so they can buy that, because that's the stuff that will get people to subscribe, not just boxing. So once they have that, they'll obviously come here for the boxing. So maybe it is 2021.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
something comes up, they'll probably buy like the Champions League in rugby, and then they'll obviously tag on the boxing onto that, and you get subscribers.
Well, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when Adam Smith was he was just a commentator or a head commentator or something. He had this job. He was some sort of production line man or whatever. He was at Sky. Chris Brown was the main man, and Adam Smith were there. And Adam Smith were crying in his office at Sky, right? And he were upset. And he rung Dennis up and he said, can you get me on at Setanta, Dennis? And Dennis says, well, I thought you were well in at Sky. And he were really upset on phone, and he said that Chris Brown were giving him an hard time. Now, I don't know exactly what it were an hard time over, but I did know that Adam Smith were warned about getting too close to fighters, because he were going, I know for a fact, he were going Ingle Gym to speak to fighters, and then he were like getting involved in their lives and that kind of thing. Going to their houses and just getting too close to them. But you know what fighters are like. If they see somebody important at Sky, they make a beeline for them, don't they? Because they're thinking about their career after boxing. For example, Johnny Nelson, he's always got on with Johnny. But Johnny's probably working him anyway, so good luck to him. But Bean were warned about it, Bean. And I think Chris Brown, I just don't think Chris Brown liked Adam Smith. He said he were a backstabber and he were forever telling tales and blah de blah. And we know what's happened. Me and you know the story about Glenn McCrory, how people were telling tales on him all the time.
Yeah, we know that.
We know who you are, you fuckers at Sky. We're not talking about Mr. Bean. We know who were fucking telling tales on our mate Glenn McCrory. Every time he fucking went out and let his hair down, people were fucking telling tales. Not only were they telling tales to fucking Sky, head fucking honchos, they were fucking ringing newspapers up. Do you know what I mean? Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's too many fucking grassing cunts at Sky. But
well, you see that very same person in London at the Ned, which is a new fancy place. So, some of my mates have seen him quite a few times, and there over the last few months. So, if there's ever a show in London, you can find some of the Sky commentary team in the Ned on the Friday or on the Thursday.
Yeah, listen, I swear to God, mate, it'll be interesting if this same person ever bumps into Glenn McCrory, if he's had a fucking beer and he's with me, because I'll say, fucking Glenn, that's that fucking cunt who we were on about. Glenn will just go over and go, bang. No fucking messing. But getting back to Sky, listen, mate, it's a fucking cesspit. I hope it collapses at Sky, and I hope that, do you know what? I hope Eddie Hearn fucks them off and goes to DAZN, because they've only got themselves to blame. They give them too much power, and then they just wanted to take over. They wanted world domination. It's same with snooker, right? With the snooker, they wanted to take over the snooker, and eventually they did, because they signed all players. They had all top 8. He had the top 8 from early 80s, and he was chipping away and chipping away. It took him 20 years to get his own way, Barry Hearn. And eventually, he got his own way. And he did it with darts, and they're trying to do it with boxing. Tried to do it with rugby league, fell flat on his face. Tried to do it with football, fell flat on his face. He tried to take on West Ham over that football ground, didn't he, Barry Hearn?
Yeah, they did.
But what Barry Hearn forgot to tell everybody is, he got into Leyton Orient, he built on 3 corners at ground and sold all property. There were no left for him to build on. And eventually just sold club, made a fortune. And he even tried to get a bit of extra money out of West Ham, which you can't blame him for, because he's a rascal, old Barry, and I like him. But Eddie's a smug little prick, and I don't like him. I've gone off Eddie Hearn again. I was warming to him a few weeks ago, Rico, and now I'm not. I'm not warming to him. I've gone off Eddie again. I've gone off him, Rico.
Spinning, isn't it? It's just spinning and spinning everything.
Listen, mate, he's a spin doctor. I mean, just turn power off again too. Yeah, he's a spin doctor. Eddie Hearn is a spin doctor, but Adam Smith is the original spin doctor, mate. And I don't know how many more fights that these fighters are going to have to. How many more times these guys are going to have to go over there and get knocked out from UK? I've picked out 17 batterings where they've gone abroad, and I think there's even more, but 17 fights that the fans will know, and then you've got there's fights that have not been in England where they've had to fight outside England, and then you've got there's 6 fights I've picked where people have been knocked out in UK. David Allen against Ortiz, while Joshua were fighting Molina. Do you know, things like that? David Price against Povetkin. I mean, David Price has been knocked out 6 times. How many more times do you need him on your show before you're going to have fucking blood on your hands? I mean, what is wrong with these people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, somebody definitely will. I mean, somebody will be lying on the canvas, you know.
Do you know what I'm saying? So,
you know, brain damage, that's what's going to happen.
Listen, Tony Bellew against Usyk were dare to be great, mate. Dare to be great. Do you know why? Because his CV didn't warrant being in there with Usyk. Who had Tony Bellew beat in world title fights at cruiserweight to be in with a guy who's got all the fucking marbles? He had 5 belts, Usyk. He had all the main 4 belts plus ring mag. Who had Bellew beat? He'd not beat a world champion as a cruiserweight.
Look at Mukawa. I mean, have we ever heard of him since?
Blown up light heavyweight. What about the other one? Flores. They're his only title wins, and they weren't champions. So why the fuck were Bellew in with Usyk? Plus, Bellew's no good with southpaws. He can't fight southpaws. Stevenson iced him. Usyk iced him. He can't do southpaws, Bellew. Oh, I beat David A, a 4.5 year on the settee, David A. At heavyweight. One of them he did his ankle in, and he were winning fight till he did his ankle, eh? And he was shot to bits. Bellew was shot to bits. And to think he might come back next year as an heavyweight, him. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, mate. I can't believe it. How much more can I take of this?
Anyways, mate, I'm going to shoot off. You tell Dennis my best. And
yeah, I'll give him your best. He's not back well Good Friday, and then we've obviously got that announcement up here next Tuesday. So, but he's not back well Good Friday because he's only allowed here in so many days a year.
Well, I'm flying to Finland on Thursday, so we can catch up. I've got over a week there, so we can catch up then.
Yeah. All right then, mate.
All right.
Well, listen, you take care. I'll speak to you soon, kid.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Bye. That's my mate Riku, Elia, very close friend of mine from Finland. He just lost his mum, bless him. He lives in London, works in marketing. Very good friend of mine, very close. He started Channel Women. In fact, he started it for me because I didn't have a clue. And obviously, K Official helped me after Rico did to get me on my way. And Nicola's with me now. She's my partner though. But good lad, Rico. Good boxing guy. He writes for a website, a boxing website. I've seen a few of his articles. Really good, really fair guy. And like I say, he's a good friend of mine. Good boxing guy. So. Yeah, so I've just had a gate fitted at my house. So I'll pop down. I'll pop down and see you this week, mate. I'll pop down and see you this week. I've got what we're gonna say now. I ain't got no money on me at the moment. So I'll be coming home in a bit, but I ain't got no money on me. But I'll pop down. All right, I'll sort it, mate. No worries. I'll move it, mate. You going out, yeah? You done now, yeah? Yeah. Good man. So that's a nice car David's got, innit? 64 plate, mate. So I like them types. It's the same year as mine, but I like them types. But it's 4-door, innit? So I want something a bit sporty. But the only problem I've got with this is my children's. My children's seats won't come in, and it don't fit it back because like, I don't know why, they just don't fit in. So I can't take my kids in car because it's against law, isn't it? You can't. I can't see anything. But other than that, I'm okay. So anyway, peace out. Keep on trucking. I'm going to chat my shell up now. Keep on trucking.